Good afternoon. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah? Welcome everyone. Lovely to see so many of you this afternoon graduating from apprenticeship programs. Well done guys, really pleased to see you here. Hoping the weather's going to hold off like it did this morning. So we can get through today and you guys can get some photos later on during the Calon Lodge. So Croesio, very warm welcome to our graduates and your family and friends. And as I say, it's great to see so many of you here today. Health and safety, there isn't a fire alarm this afternoon, be pleased to know, and the fire exits are straight out the door and in the car park, okay? So I'd like to first acknowledge ITCS, who are our main sponsors today, and thank Brian Stokes and his team for all their support with today and providing their sponsorship. Thank you also to our special guests and speakers. We've got Lisa Mason, who's the Strategic Director for the National Training Federation for Wales, and also Georgina and Rebecca from the Antarctic Fire Angels, who will also be talking about their fantastic experience as well. Just shout out to our charity of the year, which is the Way Ambulance, say it right now, and we've got Abby Pierce at the back of the room there as well. So serving Wales, saving lives is their motto, and they run a 24/7 operation, completed over 50,000 missions to date, and every year they have to raise £11.2 million to keep flying, which is incredible. So if any of you want to talk to Abby or support the charity, do that. As Educ8 this year, we are going to look to raise as much money as we possibly can and help them continue to do a fantastic job. So just moving on for the theme of today, really, which is apprenticeships. And we are here to celebrate the incredible achievement of you, our learners. Today marks a culmination of your hard work, dedication, and perseverance as you successfully completed your apprenticeship frameworks. In Wales, apprenticeships play a crucial role in shaping the future of our workforce. They provide a unique blend of practical experience, academic learning, allowing individuals to earn while they learn. This approach not only meets the skill needs of employers, many of whom are also in the room today, and really appreciate your support, not just today, but for our learners throughout the apprenticeship programme. But they also significantly boost productivity, staff morale, and offer progression opportunities. Apprenticeships are more than just a pathway to a job. They're a gateway to lifelong learning. They help individuals develop positive attitudes towards continuous education, enhance confidence, and improve employability. The skills and knowledge gained through apprenticeships lay a strong foundation for personal and professional growth, contributing to improved health, well-being, and overall quality of life. You've not only honed your skills and knowledge, but you've also demonstrated remarkable resilience and commitment. So many years, I've been involved in this sector for nearly 30 years. I know I don't look old enough, but I have started quite young. And vocational learning and university degrees, we've always been champion, I guess, parity of esteem between both. And I think today, with nearly 150 graduates in the room throughout today, this is a fantastic opportunity to showcase and celebrate both apprentices and apprenticeships. And I think it's a significant step actually towards achieving parity of esteem and demonstrating the impact apprenticeships have on individuals, families and employers. So let's get our hands warmed up. What I didn't say this morning, I'll say this afternoon. If you've got a family, friend, relative or a family member coming up this afternoon, you can shout, sing, whoop whoop, whatever you want to do guys, cheer as they collect their certificates, so don't be shy, okay? And it'd be nice to sort of hear that. Clapping is obviously mandatory, so please do that. So let's get your hands warmed up a little bit, as there'll be lots of clapping, and applaud our apprentices' journey and the bright futures that lie ahead. So congratulations to each and every one of you. You should all be immensely proud of your achievements and the personal investment you have made in your lifelong journey. Well done, Bendigedig. Thank you. So I'm going to introduce Lisa Mitten now, who is our Strategic Director for National Training Federation for Wales.
Thank you, thanks Grant. Well, prynawn da pawb, good afternoon everybody. I'm probably going to touch upon some things that Grant has just talked about, because inevitably that is my role as Strategic Director for NTFW, as it's commonly called. It really is to champion apprenticeships, not just in Wales, but in the UK as well, with both Westminster Government and the Senedd and our Welsh Government colleagues in Cardiff. It really is an honour to be here today to celebrate the achievements of all the graduating apprentices. Congratulations to you all on reaching this significant milestone. Apprenticeships, as Grant has already outlined, are truly one of the most valuable pathways for developing essential skills while simultaneously supporting business and driving our economy forward. By combining hands-on experience with structured learning, apprenticeships allow individuals to build expertise that is not only practical, but also deeply relevant to the industries that you serve. For businesses, apprenticeships offer the chance to cultivate talent from within, shaping a skilled workforce that meets the needs while fostering innovation and growth of a business. Skilled apprentices help companies stay competitive, adapt to changing technologies, and of course improve technology, as well as boosting staff morale. To all of you, you've demonstrated dedication, hard work, and a commitment to personal and professional growth. You've gained more than just technical skills, you've acquired life skills, you've built relationships, you've laid a foundation for a bright future, and your achievements will not only benefit you, but also contribute to the strength and success of the businesses and communities you serve. I was waiting in the queue earlier to go to the loo, as we do at these events, and there was a young boy there. I can't quite see him in the crowd now. He's amongst the, there he is, I can see him, he's amongst the guests there. And I told him he looked very smart for today's event, and was he looking forward to it? And he said he was, because his mum was actually graduating today. How wonderful is that, to have your son here while you're actually graduating? So mum, when I see you come up, obviously we'll give another whoop whoop and another shout out. Wonderful is that. It really did touch me, you know, when we had a little chat as we were both eagerly waiting to use the toilet. But finally, as I said, we at NTFW are all incredibly proud of Educ8 and its staff, and of course all of its learners and graduates here today. I want to personally congratulate you once again on your accomplishments, and we look forward to seeing all the great things undoubtedly achieved in the future. Diolch eto, thanks again, have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Lisa. So moving on then, our next guests, and two incredible people really, who I'm sure you'll find an inspiration this afternoon. Both are both are whole-time firefighters with South Wales Fire and Rescue, and Mid Wales Fire Service, respectively, and both embarked on the South Pole mission to challenge gender stereotypes. They covered 1,230 kilometres in 52 days, 10 hours and 30 minutes, and achieved this unguided and unsupported. So you will be able to follow the adventure on ITV shortly, where the documentary will show them facing hostile conditions on the planet, challenging themselves and embarking on their journey to the bottom of the world. Now, we saw this morning, and truly incredible and inspiration. So I want to welcome George and Bex from the Antarctic Fire Angels.
Good afternoon, everyone. George just back with the technology there. Good afternoon. It's great to be here and see all your lovely faces. So I'm Bex, and this is George. We always stand this side of each other, like Ant and Dec. We did this morning, and it really ruined her day. So, so she's made us go back to the norm. Yeah, so I'm Bex, and this is George. And yes, we went on an absolutely crazy expedition to the South Pole last November, the 21st of November. We left the base camp, Union Glacier in Antarctica, and we went on our 1,230 kilometre expedition and finished on the 12th of January this year. So we've only been back 7 months, which isn't that long really. And then whenever we do these talks now, we look back on what we did. George and I still can't quite believe that it was actually us in Antarctica, and that's actually what we did. It's still very surreal for us and a bit like a dream that it ever happened. So it did take us 52 days, 10 hours and 30 minutes, and we really did feel every single second of that time we were out in Antarctica. So the idea was born from a networking weekend with the fire service, a weekend that happens every year called Women in the Fire Service. It's a national weekend, and George and I are at the same one 5 years ago now, but we didn't know each other at the time, but we happened to be at the same weekend. And we had a similar talk like this one by a lady called Sophie, and she was part of an all-female army team called the Ice Maidens, who had done a similar expedition to the South Pole in 2015. And it was an amazing talk, really captivating, the imagery, very inspirational, but so much so that George, after this talk in the bar, asked Sophie, is this something a bunch of female firefighters can do who have never done anything like this before? And she said, yes, here's my number, get in touch and I'll get you going with all the things that you need to know. And from that moment on, our lives were changed pretty much forever now, I'd say. And it was just that moment of someone saying, yes, I can help you, and us saying, yes, let's do this, which changed our lives. So yeah, we went on this absolutely crazy journey. And then just a little bit about myself as well, maybe. So I did a lot of sport through my years. I became a teacher for 7-8 years, and then when I was 37, I decided to change careers completely and join the fire service. So it's never too late to change career in your life. Take the risk is what I always say, and go for it if you want to go and do something. But I'll just hand over to George for the reasons why we actually did this crazy journey.
Hello, right. Yeah, so I have a little bit of OCD, which means we always have to stay on the same side. And yeah, I felt like my left wheel had come off this morning when I was still on the other side, but we get through it, don't we? Yeah, because change happens, right? And yes, so the reason that we did it was to literally inspire every single age group that we could possibly think of. Future generations, it was about inspiring people who are my age, people who are younger than me, people who are older than me. It was about inspiring everybody. We basically needed an attention grabber, and Antarctica was it. So we went to the most hostile continent on the planet in order to prove our point. So yes, that's what we needed, the attention grabber. We risked our lives to prove our point. And thankfully, it is absolutely paying off, because we get to come and speak to amazing people like yourselves. We get invited into different arenas all the time, different fire services across the country, police services as well, police. Police services, NHS, you name it, we're getting invited into different places just to talk about our message. Yes, people want to hear about the expedition and what we went through and everything, and there's some very shiny, glorious pictures there with incredibly unique experience for us, and I encourage anybody to get there if you can. That's exactly why we do it, and it's paying off. Background about myself, I was a school dropout, hated school, left with 1 GCSE, couldn't stand it. All I wanted to do was horses, I wanted to ride. I learned when I was 4, and so I became a riding instructor, and then I went to university. I didn't go until I was 21. I got my degree in equine science, and then I joined the fire service, and I thought, well, okay, I'm a firefighter, brilliant. And then I got my second degree in England. And it was all I did with the Open University, so it was all took quite a long time. So that's what I did there. And then I skied to Antarctica, to the South Pole. So that's a bit about background about me. So it doesn't matter if you find that you don't fit in somewhere, because you will fit in somewhere and progress through your whole life. And as Beck says, say yes to stuff, honestly, because you just don't know where it's going to get you. Well, to certain things anyway, say no to drugs. But not gin. So we'll just play a quick video now. It kind of sets the scene for the whole expedition a little bit.
We're absolutely exhausted. We've both got awful coughs, you think, from being in the cold and the altitude. Yeah, we are really, really, really tired now. And literally dragging ourselves day by day. What sort of day has it been? Hell. We'll be the first emergency services team to do this, and I believe the first LGBTQI team to do this as well. So there's a couple of world firsts there. Look at you! When we first started this, because we were unguided, a woman over the age of 45 couldn't get insurance for it. So, yeah, but a man could. Gender isn't a barrier for what you want to achieve in life.
Welcome to Antarctica, everyone!
And you shouldn't let other people tell you that just because you're a woman or a girl, that you can't do something. We're trying to change the narrative of change the narrative what it means to be a girl. I was worried that Candy would continue with this now. If one of us gets removed, we both get removed. It's really pushed me into the brink, I think, at some point, the stresses and strains of everything.
So yeah, and yet so far has never meant more to us right now.
Thanks everyone, and also just on that, it's part of a documentary that is now out on ITVX called Fire and Ice if anyone wants to watch more and interested, see how you feel after the end of our talk maybe. So our journey actually started 4 years before we even stepped foot on Antarctica. So we had to spend those 4 years planning, training, fundraising to be able to get to Antarctica. So we spent a lot of time in Sweden and Norway doing all of our training, learning how to survive in the cold, put a tent up on the snow and ice. George and I couldn't ski before we started this, so we had to learn to ski. I can't say we can actually ski now, but we can stay-ish on 2 sticks, which is enough to get us to South Pole. We also had to learn things like, you know, medical stuff, looking after each other, nutrition, crevasse rescue training. So we did a lot of things to enable to qualify us to be able to go to Antarctica. So don't just let you go there. You have to have the experience and training, and then that goes to a board, and then they'll decide if your experience and training matches what you want to actually do. So we spent those 4 years doing a lot of that, as well as the fundraising, which is probably the hardest and worst thing about the whole 4 years, was trying to ask people for money, or begging as we called it. And that was pretty tough. And you know, George and I are firefighters, we had no idea about fundraising, and going into rooms of CEOs and boards of companies, having to put our idea forward and why we wanted to do it, and basically promote ourselves, which we found really difficult. Self-promotion, I think, was a really tough thing for George and I. And the other thing was social media. Now, George and I are not from an era where we grew up with social media, so we really had to work hard on that kind of area of things. And yeah, we found that really tough. We had a lot of help as well, but that was a tough thing for us. So fundraising and social media were the worst things about that 4 years. But we had a real roller coaster of a time, I'd say, over the 4 years. We learned so much, so many different new skills that we now have over those 4 years. And I always liken it to, it was basically a full-time job on top of our already full-time jobs. And I know probably a lot of you in the room might kind of get that, be doing the apprenticeships alongside your jobs as well. So yeah, it was a tough 4 years, obviously worth it. I think the worst thing about it was the roller coaster of emotions of you just about to get the funding for the expedition, and then suddenly we were told no by a company. And this happened many, many times over the 4 years. There was a lot of doubt whether George and I would even be able to do the expedition. I think a lot of companies they didn't want to be associated with something that they thought might fail. And I think sometimes it was because we were women, unfortunately, that they thought, oh, they're not going to be able to get there and do this expedition. So it was for us, as well as exciting as well. But we learned a lot. But yeah, it was a long 4 years. So you can imagine when we actually stepped foot on Antarctica, it was like we'd done it, we'd achieved already before we then had to do the expedition.
there's a video of us when we land on Antarctica, and it is literally like we've just completed the whole expedition. We were incredibly naive at that moment in time as well. So yeah, we landed on Antarctica, and the weather was actually really lovely. And you think, oh, Antarctica is the most inhospitable place on the planet. It's going to be awful from the moment you set foot. And for us, it wasn't. In the first week, it was incredibly kind to us. We had a temperature of -9. You can see it scrolling through the stunning scenery. We had 360-degree views. And if it's only -9 for Antarctica, that's actually ridiculously warm. For the UK, that's cold. But it's so we spent the first week just in base layers. We had a factor 50 sunblock on, and we were still burning. And you can imagine what that's like in a tent when you can't shower. It gets pretty gross after a certain amount of time. But we were thinking, well, if this is what Antarctica is going to throw at us, what on earth could possibly go wrong? As we progress, as you get higher and higher and higher to the South Pole, it gets colder and colder and colder. And so we started our expedition at a place called Union Glacier, which is a little bit sheltered anyway, so we knew that was going to happen. But as you approach a place called Hercules Inlet, they always say to you, right, get there and get to the top of it. It's 2 or 3 days to get to the top of it. And make sure you get there when there is no storm on the way, because when the storm hits Hercules Inlet, it funnels it and it accelerates as it reaches the bottom of the inlet. So what happened is that we got to the bottom of Hercules Inlet as a storm came in. So we made a decision to travel every single day unless the wind was that strong it would knock us over, or it was that dangerous that we couldn't either pitch or take the tent down. So we continued to travel through that storm. But this video that you can hear now, this is us approaching the bottom of Hercules Inlet. That's Bex having a little wave there. And again, we're all really positive, and we see this massive sundog behind us. And it felt like it was really, really close to us. It was, looming in on us. And that huge bank of cloud there, we had no idea what was going to happen with that, because as far as we were concerned, the wind was in the right direction for us. 20 minutes later, we ended up in a complete whiteout and flat night. And as you lose the sun, it gets colder and colder and colder. So we went from a lovely -9 to a -30 in 20 minutes. And it really, really caught us out. And it's a lesson that we learned for the entire expedition and for life, to be fair. What we'd done is we got very complacent with the nice weather. We have a compass mount, and it attaches to around your waist, and the compass sits in it right in front of you, so you know exactly where you're going. We haven't bothered putting that on because we had lots to orientate ourselves with. We had a mountain view, we knew we were heading roughly in the right direction, and everything was glorious. But of course, when you've got nothing to reference on the horizon, you start going a bit skew-whiff. So Bex skied, I was leading at the time, and Bex skied up next to me. She said, what on earth are you doing? She said, we feel like we're going round in circles. Have you been at the Baileys? And we did take a litre of Baileys with us, but no, I hadn't been at the Baileys secretly. And so it turns out, so because we have no reference point, we were literally zigzagging around the place. We probably added an extra couple of kilometres to that whole day of expedition. So we thought, right, we've got to get the compass out. We've dropped the ball here. Let's get on with it. So we got extremely cold. But you get extremely cold when you're stationary. So we got our big down jackets on, and we were rifling around in my pulp. We found the compass mount, found the compass fell out into the clear compass into the white snow. We had to scurry around in the snow to try and find that. Eventually got it on me. By this time, you can't do things like that unless you take your mittens off. And you've got about 10 seconds before you start to feel pain in your hands at -30, and from the sheer cold. So we managed to get it on, and off we skied again. And I had to get my emergency mittens out. At week 2, I had to get my emergency mittens out. That's not good. And it took me about half an hour to go through that pain threshold, the re-warming of my fingers. But I have come back with all my fingers and toes, thankfully. So as you can see, we get a big ice beard. Oh, that's my thigh, I'll explain that in a minute. A big ice beard, and you get frozen into your balaclava and things. So all of a sudden, Antarctica showed her true colours in the space of 20 minutes flat. And my gosh, was it an eye-opener for us. Because of the sudden plummet in temperature as well, I started to get a condition called polar thigh. Sounds cool because you're on Antarctica. When you come home, it's called chilblains and ulcers. Not so cool. And Yes, it's quite a serious condition out there, but you can't feel it because it attacks the nerve endings first. So I was actually, Bex will cover a bit more when she goes into the next few slides, but my thighs were covered in this polar thigh, which is, well, it could have got quite nasty really in the end. So huge eye opener for us for that shadow it out.
So while we were out in Antarctica, I'd say probably the hardest thing of the whole was the daily grind, or Groundhog Day as we called it. So we did the same thing every single day for 53 days, and it really was mentally draining on us. So our day started at 6:30 when the alarm went off, and one of us would get up and start melting snow. So for us to be able to eat and rehydrate our food, we had to melt snow to generate water, and that would take usually around an hour or so to be able to melt enough of ice, while the other person was then getting up ready and sorting out bits of equipment and things. So by the time we finished eating breakfast and faffing around, putting all our equipment away, getting the tent down, it would be 9 o'clock, and that's when we would aim to leave every morning. And we'd spend 10 to 12 hours a day skiing throughout the day, and we'd break that up into a 2-hour ski and a 10 to 15-minute break. And during those breaks then is when we would have our snacks and our fluid and go to the toilet. But being a woman, going to the toilet in Antarctica is pretty awful because you've got to take your trousers down and expose your skin. And when it's -30 and it's windy, it's pretty awful. And George and I became each other's cheerleaders for the toileting time stops. We were basically each other's windbreakers and toilet roll holders and cheerleaders, and also for the sake of each other, we had to make sure we knew which way the wind direction was going. It didn't end well otherwise. So yeah, it was pretty tough on those long days, and we would ski one behind each other because that was the most efficient way. So the person in front would be the navigator and the leader and kind of make most of the decisions, and then the person behind would then have a little bit of more of a mental break, just and sit back in the tracks and enjoy kind of a bit more of a rest. And we would switch around every 2 hours then throughout the day. And then on our breaks, we would eat cheese and salami, flapjacks and chocolate. And then we'd have 2 flasks, one just with water and the other with a hydration drink. And that's what we'd have every single day. So eating frozen cheese and frozen salami got pretty samey, as you can imagine, on a daily basis. Then in the morning for breakfast, we would have like a granola with dry coconut powdered milk and hot chocolate. And then for our evening meal, we'd have a freeze-dried meal like space food. We had a few different flavors, spag bowl, sweet sour chicken. It wasn't too bad, along with a recovery drink and some biscuits. And that's what we'd eat every day. And it totaled to 5,500 calories every day that we needed to eat and fuel ourselves. But we were still probably burning more like 8,000 calories. So George and I, by the end of the expedition, I'd lost 2.5 stone and George had lost 2 stone. So even though we had all of that food, we were still losing a lot of weight because we were just walking every day 10 to 12 hours. And all of that food and all of our equipment and everything was in our sleds that we dragged behind us because it was just George and I, no one else, just the 2 of us. And when we left the base camp in Antarctica, my sled was 120 kilos and George's was 110 kilos. So we were dragging a lot of weight behind us, and it was we'd only planned for 85 kilos each, so it was quite a bit more when we started off, and expected that extra weight. But it was the weight was the weight, and we had to drag it basically. So yeah, the daily grind was probably the worst thing and the toughest thing for us mentally, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So tent life, the tent was our house, it was our kitchen. And because of my polar thigh, fortunately, it also became our toilet long drop. And as gross and disgusting as that sounds, it was actually a luxury to have an ensuite, because when it's ridiculous minus temperatures outside, you want to keep your skin out of the wind as much as possible. And the thought of going, if you're older in the room and you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the toilet, you have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the toilet. And unfortunately for us, that would happen. So the thought of actually going outside of the tent in the wind to go to the toilet was absolutely horrific. So the day that we brought it back inside was really it felt like promotion, basically, and a pay rise. It was a good day. The tent was also a place, as I said, where we cooked, and we also had our food rations packed into 10-day bags. And in the bottom of our 10-day bags, we would treat ourselves to a change of socks and a change of underwear. So we only changed our pants once every 10 days, and I can see lots of noses being screwed over there and things like that. You can take a change of pants for every single day of the expedition that you want, but you have to carry them with you. And you can imagine 53 days of pants, that's quite a lot of weight. So we probably would have gone, with about 140 kilos in the end. It's actually, the merino underwear that we carry is actually quite hefty, as you can imagine it's got to be, isn't it? But don't worry, it's naturally antibacterial. We're all good. So we treat ourselves to a change of underwear and a change of socks, and it was like, you get clean pajamas, clean sheets, that type of feeling. Every 10 days, just the best feeling in the world. We also took a rugged tablet with us. Again, feels like a luxury, but we took it so we could basically disconnect from the day. And it got to the point where we were so excited about watching House of Cards at the end of every day that we would actually hurry up towards the end to get the kilometres in order to get back in the tent to watch House of Cards. Little did we know that they expire after a month. And it was like a scene from Vietnam. We both dropped to our knees with our arms up in the air, shouting, screaming, "No, I can't believe this is happening." But don't feel so too sorry for us. We had a white Christmas as well. And we watched Elf on Christmas Day. And on New Year's Day, we watched Barbie. And so we had lots of nice things in the tent as well. And that was really, really important to us. And it was actually very sunny days. It was, might be minus 30 outside, but on the sunny days, it was plus 20 degrees inside the tent. We were actually sweating. And we had these very expensive down sleeping bags that were sponsored. And we ended up sleeping on top of them in our underwear because it was just too hot in the tent. When there was no sun, it bobbed around sort of -5. But don't get me wrong, it was a nice problem to have because it meant we could things that we were wearing. We would sleep in our base layers, basically, we just didn't get changed at all. And so all our balaclava, our gloves and our socks, we'd be able to dry through the night and have that reset ready for the next day. When it wasn't sunny, we didn't have that reset. And it would sort of rotate in about a 5-week program, wasn't it? So we'd have 5 days of sun, 5 days of whiteout, and it would carry on like that pretty much through the whole expedition. So as soon as the first whiteout came, we knew we'd be plunged into relative darkness for, although it's 24-hour sun, into this relative sort of whiteout for a week. That in itself was actually quite soul-destroying. There's a wasp buzzing around me now. Everybody's looking at the wasp buzzing around me. So tent life, not so bad, and it's important because it made it bearable. In Norway, it's going to be a hand coming across it now. In Norway, we had -27 in the tent. So when you think you've got plus 20 in the tent in Antarctica, I'm starting to get a little nervous now. It was a nice problem to have. Right, you can stop talking now because I'm about to start screaming up the corridor.
She survived Antarctica and she can't survive a wasp.
Or spiders.
A question we always get asked is how did we survive each other for 53 days? How are we still friends? How are we still talking? And I think probably the one thing that made our expedition successful was that George and I were able to have a go at each other every single day. So we call it a snip, but we would have a snip at each other every day about really small things like I might have eaten some of their food, or we planned to do something in a certain time and we hadn't done it, or we'd been late for something. And it was really, really small things, but in Antarctica, everything is exaggerated. And we would then, we might build up through the day and then we get into the tent in the evening, we basically have a little go at each other. But what we were really good at was letting that go then. So literally within a minute, we'd be talking about something completely different. And then we would just forget about that issue that we had that day. And we were able to do that every day throughout the expedition. And it wasn't something consciously we thought about before we went to Antarctica. It just kind of happened naturally. But it really enabled us to kind of let things go and not dwell on stuff, which can really, really be a massive disadvantage on a long expedition like that. So snipping, as we call it, was basically the thing that made us successful, I think, throughout the expedition. And the one thing, is that we just had each other. That was it. There was no one else. And if one of us had gone down and had to be evacuated, we both would have had to be evacuated. So we were solely reliant on each other to get to that end goal and for that expedition to be successful. And everything, we were reliant on keeping each other alive pretty much. I had a really bad chest infection at the beginning of the expedition, so George took over kind of leadership and and sort of dragging me along and making more decisions. And then when George had her polar thigh, I basically lied to her about how bad it was on a daily basis because she couldn't see some of it. Just because it's such, you know, the expedition is a massive physical and mental fatiguing situation, and with that on top for George, I just thought she can't know how bad it is, and it pretty much looked like a flesh-eating disease. Is what it looked like, and I thought, oh God, I can't tell her how bad it is. So I'd be like, yeah, it's fine, it's not got any worse, just put a bit of cream on it or put a dressing on it. And I was like, oh God. Yeah, we were massively reliant on each other, and we would not have made it without each other. So it was a really interesting dynamic. George and I are very different people, but we do share a similar sense of humour, which I think really got us through those difficult days and the length of journey. And we did have one massive Barney, however, on the penultimate night before we got to the South Pole. And it was basically over how we were going to do the final day. So we'd left ourselves with 36 kilometres to do. And I remember thinking, I am not spending one more night in this tent. It was disgusting, as you can imagine. After 52 days, it was full of our dead skin, bits of food, and God knows what else. And I thought, I am done staying in this tent for another night. So I just wanted to get up, smash it out, get to the South Pole. George wanted to put the tent up on the last day. She wanted to put the tent up halfway along through the day, stop for a few hours, have a rest, eat some food, and make sure that we got to the South Pole. George is a bit older than me, maybe slightly more sensible. And, you know, God forbid if we'd not been able to make the South Pole 10 kilometres out because I had wanted us to go for it and something bad had happened. So we had this big Barney at the end of the day before the last day, literally in each other's faces, saying things like, don't let me regret something I'm going to say, and George telling me to use my adult words if I'm going to apologise. And it was proper in your face, pushing and shoving, you know, and now when we think about it, you know, it was just us two in the middle of Antarctica, no one else around, just having this massive Barney. And then anyway, we kind of stopped then, we just continued in silence. We then awkwardly then had to put the tent up and do all of the normal stuff, but in complete silence. And anyway, I think in the end, you know, I thought, God, I've got to apologise because this is our last night before we get to the South Pole, hopefully, and, you know, we can't be having an argument and leaving things bad between. We made up and whatever, and it was fine. And then we got up the next day. I didn't mention a thing, nor did George. And we just continued walking and walking, usual, you know, 2 hours on, 15 minutes off, and then and ended up at the South Pole. So I think I won the argument for that.
She may have won the argument, but there's an awful lot of age and treachery that happens in the background. Yeah, there may be 7 years between us, but, you know, I've got less to lose and probably more childhood. Sorry, next slide. So this is, we call this the last kilometre. So we planned 37 kilometres for the last day, and next to the South Pole, the camp, this is 11:30 at night. And as you get there, the camp, everybody else was in bed, and the camp manager came out with his big knit hand and said, "Congratulations, ladies, you've reached your destination. However, the South Pole is 1 kilometre that way." And at that point, I think we both could have dropped on these and cried. And it was taking us about an average of 20 minutes to do a kilometre. That day, it took us 40 minutes to get there. And he was thinking, what on earth are they doing? Because our pulse were relatively light. You know, there's nothing much going on at all. And barely any wind as well, although it's minus 41 at this moment in time. But we were lucky because there was no wind whatsoever. And so this is the geographic South Pole, and that is the actual official end of your journey. So that's when the clock stops. And because you're unguided and unsupported as well, it's the first time we'd actually interact with anybody, because even if you meet somebody, no one comes anywhere near you, which is rare to meet somebody on Antarctica, obviously, but nobody comes anywhere near you. You drop the ski pole and they pick it up for you, you become supported. It is that fussy, the polar world is an incredibly fussy world. So this marked the official end of our journey, and then the ceremonial South Pole is the shiny pictures that everybody tends to see as well. But it's such a range of emotions when we were skiing up to the pole, and we'd had a little argument on the way up to the pole as well, so 10 minutes out. And because we'd forgotten our pole bag, and our pole bag contains all our sponsors' flags and all important things like that, and toys that kids had given to us to take to the pole and stuff. And I remember saying, you know, Bex, oh my God, we've 4 years in the planning, this is our 5th year, we've got 10 minutes left, let's slow down and enjoy this. And she was like, get off me, you know, stop trying to hug me, I just want to get to the South Pole. They're going to run out of food. Because it's 11:30 at night, so her stomach dictates a lot of activities. And so I was like, no, we need to enjoy it, take it all in, and let's just slow down a bit. She went, we can't possibly go any slower, how slow do you want to go? And so we eventually got there, and we had that good hug, and you see when the hug's there, that's the genuine sense of absolute pure relief that we actually made it to the South Pole.
For me, when we got there, obviously apart from desperately wanting to go and eat some real food, I was, you know, the relief was just massive. You know, it wasn't just the 53 days, but the 4 years of the planning and prepping, and you know, many hours and days of thinking we're not going to get there, we're not going to do it. So the relief was huge, but also the joy, excitement, being at the South Pole was just amazing. I do remember thinking when we got there, I cannot do one more step, get these skis off my feet now. And then we couldn't actually walk once we got the skis off our feet. But yeah, the feeling of being at the South Pole was just amazing. I've been obsessed with the South Pole for quite a long time, watched a lot of documentaries about it, you know, what's there, what does it look like? So actually to be there in person was just, you know, mind-blowing for me. And we got to have a tour around the South Pole Centre, which was pretty cool. And we met some other firefighters because they have a firefighting team there as well. So it was just an amazing life-changing experience, I think, for both of us being at the South Pole, wasn't it? And we spent a night there in a heated tent, which was amazing. And we did eat normal food, had some beers, crisps and things, sat on a toilet seat, which was absolute luxury after 53 days of squatting over a hole. I can't tell you how much luxury that was. And then the next day, like I said, we had a tour around the South Pole, took it all in, and then we jumped on a plane, an old World War II Basler plane, which was a pretty cool experience. And it took us 4 hours to get back. So 53 days to get to the South Pole, and then jumped on the plane 4 hours to get back to our start point. But it was just an amazing experience to fly back over the route that we had taken and see basically all of the horrific crevasses, which are massive holes in the ice that we missed, basically. And just see the terrain and where we went. It was just such an amazing mind-blowing experience, wasn't it, George? So yeah, just absolute, something that we'll never forget and have experienced together, I think. So yeah, just a brilliant experience. And I'd just like to say, before we finish, just well done to all you guys. I know you would have had to work really hard over the last few years for your apprenticeships. So well done to you guys as well for your hard work.
Also, there's a bit of our kit out back. It's all clean, don't worry. It's got none of our skin cells left in it now. And feel free, get hands on, do it. Well, I was going to say do whatever you want with it. But actually, if Antarctica didn't kill it, then nobody else can. So yeah, feel free to go and help yourself, pick it up, you know, and try it on. There's boots and all sorts of up there and stuff. So please, yourselves. And thank you for listening.
Thank you both. Exceptional challenge what you did, and really inspirational for us all to listen to. So appreciate your time today coming in and talking to us this afternoon. Just introduce now Brian Stokes, who's the founder of ITCS, who supported us today. So Brian, let's say a few words.
Oh, the wasp is still there.
Thank you, Grant. Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies, that's the second time I've viewed that story this morning, and to be fair, it was just as inspirational second time around. It's one hell of an achievement, but equally so, we're here today to celebrate your guys' achievement, which is massive. And first and foremost, I'd like to say congratulations to you all. Vocational learning is not easy, to be fair to you guys. You know, I come through university myself. I've studied since, and vocational learning is very hard. We all live busy lives, and trying to fit that in around the day-to-day routine is pretty challenging, to be fair. So you know, a massive well done to you for doing that. It gives me great pleasure to be here today and just say a few words and congratulate such dedicated people. Within ITCS, as a company, we celebrate this ourselves. We've got a number of engineers that have come through various learning platforms and apprenticeships, And I'll share a story of a young lad that was with us 20 years ago, come in 1 day a week, and we supported him through his apprenticeship, lots of learning thereafter. And that young lad, who's now not so young, but 20 years later, he's our technical director and shareholder within the company. So it just goes to show really that if you want it hard enough, then you can achieve. And you guys doing vocational learning have proven really that you've got the traits that you can always be taught, but your attitude really to the learning and the commitment that you guys have already shown is above and beyond really. So make sure on your CVs that you actually make that clear. It goes a long way with employers. So I won't take up any more of your time really. Grant and Educ8, thank you very much for allowing us to sponsor the event today. Congratulations to everybody. It's a massive achievement and well done to you all. Thank you.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Brian, for those wonderful words, and thank you for your support here with our event today. So I'm here just to introduce myself. So my name's Jude Holloway, and I'm the Managing Director of Educ8 Training. But today I've got the pleasure of representing the entire group, which I've got to get them in the right order: Educ8 Training, Haddon Training, Ystrad Training, and also Aspire to Be. So it fills me with huge joy to see such a variation of subjects, specialists in the room, which is absolutely lovely. I think we've got animal care, equine, all the way to project management, leadership management. So it's absolutely brilliant. It's great to see you all here today. So before we start the ceremony, what we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick look at this video.
Today we are here to celebrate a momentous occasion. Years of hard work, dedication and determination. Let's pause to reflect on the incredible journey that has brought each and every one of you to this very moment. The path to this day has been filled with challenges and triumphs, late night study sessions, moments of self-doubt and personal growth. But through it all, you've persevered. You've embraced the opportunity to learn, to expand your horizons and discover your true potential. You've not only acquired knowledge, but you've also gained invaluable life experiences. You've developed skills that serve you well in whatever path you now choose to follow. Your graduation today is not the end, it's just the beginning of a new chapter. In a world that sometimes can feel divided and uncertain, I urge you to be the positive change makers, the problem solvers, the leaders who inspire others. I have no doubt you'll go on and accomplish remarkable things and can't wait to see the incredible impact you'll have. Congratulations.
Apprenticeships are a really good way to upskill and also to progress in your career. Once you're working, you can gain the qualification and you can do so in a variety of different ways to kind of match the competency and for your assessor to check the competency. So I would highly recommend an apprenticeship opportunity if you get the chance to do it.
Doing my apprenticeship in digital marketing will only help me gain a vocational qualification for my CV, but also help me develop the skills and confidence to use new digital marketing techniques in my work with the help of my excellent trainer coach.
I've worked at Educ8 for 14 years. During that time, I've seen many apprentices complete their apprenticeships and move on to very successful careers. Isn't it exciting to think that an apprenticeship can give you all the knowledge and skills you need to move on and progress in your career? Here at Educ8, we offer various subject qualifications at various levels, so we can really help you and support you to develop and move up the ladder in your chosen career. We believe that lifelong learning is key to development, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
We're part of the Children and Young People Delivery Team, and we'd just like to say a massive congratulations to all of the graduates.
I'm Jade, I'm the Customer Account Manager for Childcare, and I just want to say a massive congratulations to all of our graduates.
Hi, I'm Candice, your Essential Skills Invigilator. Just want to say a big well done. Congratulations.
And I'd just like to say what an amazing achievement of you all, and good luck for the future.
Congratulations everyone! Congratulations on your graduation! Yay!
Hi, my name is Donna Friend, I'm the Programme Manager for ICT. I'd like to wish all our learners congratulations on the graduation and achieving their apprenticeships.
Congratulations!
Hi, I'm Grant Santos, CEO of Educ8 Training Group. Just want to say to everyone, congratulations on graduating from the apprenticeship programme. You should be extremely proud of yourselves. It's an awesome achievement. Well,
Hi, I'm Colin Tucker, Chairman of the Educ8 Training Group. Many on your success today. Have a fantastic time and all the very best for the future.
And as the wider team then said, it is so fantastic, your achievement, and I think the wider team, share your enthusiasm and love for work-based learning, and we're so pleased that you guys have come to the end of this part of your learning journey with us today. So I know everyone in the broader team would want to give you the very best of luck for your future steps. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to get to the nub of it while we're here. We're going to crack on with the ceremony. So if I could just talk you through how this is the order of things are going to be. We're going to start at the back row. You're going to come round down the side. Please have your name ticket with you, otherwise Catherine will make it up. So who knows what you might have studied. So if you bring your ticket with you, you come out to the side here. Kath will call your name, and then our lovely photographer will take your photo. We will have a dummy scroll up here. I have to keep it, so if you try and take it, I will keep hold of it. And then as you go around the other side of the marquee, you can go to the top there and pick up your own individualised scroll. Is everyone all right with that? Yeah? Okay, brilliant.
I probably could manage, actually. There we go. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude. Okay, first up, we've got Lewis Turner, Leadership Management.
Lovely. We'll do one more like that. Lovely stuff. Well done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Lynn Jones, Childcare Level 2.
Couple of shots here. And we'll just see how they look in there. That's lovely. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Lucy Pugh, Advice and Guidance Level 4. Ellen Hughes, Advice and Guidance Level 4.
Being very sure.
Lovely, thank you. Brilliant. Let's do the last one. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Chloe Lou Thomas, Childcare Level 3.
Lovely. One last one.
Well done.
Rachel Evans, Social Media Level 3.
Congratulations. There's a book there. Well done.
That's lovely. One, I'll just check those. That's great.
Oh, congratulations. You meant business then.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Lucy Barnard, Childcare Level 3.
Well done.
So again, looking at you. That's brilliant. Last couple there. Brilliant. Well done. Thank you.
Sophie Meredith, Childcare Level 3.
just touch on it. That's it. That's brilliant.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thomas, Leadership and Management Level 3.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lovely, one more there. Perfect, that's great. Thank you.
Jackie, Animal Care Level 3.
Well done there. Let's get one last slide. Perfect, thank you.
There we go. Leadership and Management Level 4.
Well done.
One more there. Perfect, thank you.
Peter Hunt, Leadership and Management Level 5.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lovely. And last one there. Perfect, thank you. Thank
Kelly Meek of the Social Care Level 2.
Well done. Right, then.
all the cheers.
Yeah,
Lovely. Just do one more. And just do one last one there. One last one. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren Hale, Business Admin Level 3.
Sorry. It's been skidding away. Congratulations. Well done.
Again, looking like this way. Lovely. And finally. Perfect, thank you very much.
Laura Birchall of the Social Care Level 2.
Well done. Congratulations.
Jasmine Rogers, Hairdressing Level 2.
Congratulations.
Lovely. And lastly, thank you very much.
Ellie Murray, Beauty Level 2.
Lovely, one more there. Perfect, thank you very much.
Annie Tudor, Hairdressing Level 2.
Lovely, one more there. And just give me one last one. Brilliant, thank you very much.
Jenna Slade, Price and Items Level 4. Megan Williams, Business Admin Level 3. Mia Hood, Advice and Guidance Level 4.
There we are.
You got it. Lovely. And last one there.
Perfect. Fred, you see? Come on.
Alice Williams, Social Media Level 3.
Congratulations. Well done.
So again, right this way. That's great. So nothing more there. That's perfect.
Oh, well done. Congratulations.
Rowan Thomas, Leadership and Management Level 4. Ellie James, Customer Service Level 2.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thomas Carter, Digital Marketing Level 3.
Well done, Thomas. Congratulations.
Catherine Kellaway, Advice and Guidance Level 4.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Jamie, Advice and Guidance Level 4.
Again, lines, my lens, lovely. Second more here. Lovely stuff. Thank you.
Karen Jenkins, Advice and Guidance Level 4. Beth Price, Advice and Guidance Level 4.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Becky Cohen, Teacher Management Level 4.
Congratulations.
Luke Captain, Leadership Management Level 4. Cheyenne Morris, Leadership Management Level 4. Stacey James, Health and Social Care Level 4.
Tough on that. Well done.
Julia Burgess, Leadership Management Level 5. Gavin Elias, ILM Level 4.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Shay Fangrove, Leadership Management Level 4.
Thank you. So I can get a corner of the screen. That's great. Perfect stuff. Thank you.
Vicky Fox, Childcare Level 3.
Biggest thanks up here. That's great. Lovely. And one more there. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Lauren Wood, Business Admin Level 3.
Perfect. And lastly, great stuff. Thank you very much.
Maybe Educ8 Social Media Level 3. Leslie Price, Advice and Guidance Level 4.
Well done, Leslie.
And lastly, lovely. Thank you very much.
Amy Page, Hairdressing Level 2. Annette Abassi, Leadership Management Level 4.
Lovely. Last couple there.
Nicholas Welling, Leadership Management Level 3.
One there. That's great. Thank you.
Natalie Jones, Leadership Management Level 5. Sarah Henry, Advice and Guidance Level 4. Lloyd Price, Leadership Management Level 5.
Thank you.
Kimberly Williams, Advice and Guidance Level 4. Casey Knight, QC 2.
Lovely. I'll just do one last one there. Perfect. Thank you.
Well done.
Right, Childcare Teacher and Management Level 5.
That's great. Thank you very much.
And last but not least, Educ8's very own Tammy and Joe.
That's my daughter.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and graduates, as we come to the end of this remarkable ceremony, I'm honoured to stand before you as the Customer Account Director of Educ8. Today we celebrate not just the completion of qualifications, but the beginning of new journeys, new possibilities and endless opportunities. First and foremost, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our speakers today. Your insights and words of wisdom have been truly inspiring and have set the tone for the fantastic achievements we celebrate today. I'd also like to express our deepest gratitude to our sponsor, ITCS, and Brian and the team. Your support has been invaluable in making this day possible and in helping our graduates reach their full potential. And now to our graduates, congratulations. Your hard work, dedication and perseverance have led you to this momentous occasion. Each of you has demonstrated exceptional commitment to your personal and professional growth, and for that you should be immensely proud. In today's ever-changing world, the importance of being true to oneself can never be overestimated. As you move forward, remember to trust yourself. Embrace your unique qualities, your strengths, and even your weaknesses, for they make you who you are. Authenticity is a very powerful trait, and it will guide you through both triumphs and challenges. Furthermore, never underestimate the value of lifelong learning. The journey of education doesn't end today. Continue to seek new knowledge, stay curious, and stay open to new experiences. Lifelong learning is not just about acquiring new skills, but also about adapting, growing, and evolving in all aspects of your life. It would be remiss of me not to mention our progressions desk, where the team is on hand with any help you have in any further activities you'd like to explore across Haddon, ISA, Aspire to Be, and of course Educ8. As we conclude this ceremony, I want to leave you with this. Be proud of yourself. Stand tall and cherish the moment. You have achieved something truly special, and this is just the beginning. Hold on to the memories, the friendships, and the knowledge you've gained here at Educ8. Let them be the foundation upon which you build your future. Congratulations once again to every one of you. We look forward to seeing the incredible things you will achieve. As this now marks the end of the ceremony, we'd like you to ask you to now go back to Carlon Lodge for a glass of fizz or an orange juice. The bar is open until 4:30 if you want to purchase any additional drinks. Thank you.